YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at my first impression review of the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21. This shoe has been loved by the masses for years and years for its reliable blend of support, cushioning, and comfort. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into my first impression review of the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21. The Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21 is a reliable daily trainer designed to provide maximum stability to correct overpronation for runners of all levels and abilities. Jesus, that description's about as simple as the shoe itself. So without any further ado, let's get into the details, starting with the stack height. Coming in at 32 millimeters in the heel and 20 millimeters in the forefoot, we are looking at a heel to toe drop of 12 millimeters, which I think is kind of exclusive to Brooks at this point. And that's a good discussion I'd like to have. Let me know if you guys know of any other brands that are putting out 12 millimeter drop shoes besides Brooks. I know it's also in the Ghost, but besides those two shoes, I don't really know of anything on the market that's above a 10 millimeter drop. So drop it in the comments below. What's up? Moving on to the weight, we are looking at 10 ounces in a men's size 9 and at 8.5 ounces in a woman's size 8. Now, to be honest, that's pretty solid for a support shoe. Usually they come in at much heavier than that. I'm an 11.5, and that feels pretty good to me. So once again, we're looking at that reliable, no frills cushioning, no frills support, but it gets the job done and it feels good. And you can kind of see that just with the simplicity of it all. So moving on to the fit, this shoe is true to size. It comes right on schedule as another reliable feature of the shoe. The lockdown's pretty solid. The comfort in the upper is pretty good. You're not gonna be sliding around in there. You know, there was a little bit of space in the toe box, but just about as much that is comfortable for anybody wearing a daily trainer when your feet swell up and stuff. Moving on to the upper, we are looking at a pretty simplistic engineered upper mesh with a 3D print to enhance the fit, as well as a solid heel counter in the back to aid in a little extra support. Something I really liked about this upper mesh is the lockdown on the laces, and there was very little slipping and very little abrasiveness on my Achilles area. And I think Brooks is really good with that. Looking at the lacing system, the shoe laced up really well, even from the start. I think just stepping in, Brooks does a really great job with an interior sock liner to make your foot feel super comfortable at initial slip in, and then even after your first run, it'll feel great. It's silky smooth, feels really nice, and there's no like hot spots or anything before, during, or after your run. Moving on to the midsole. Brooks is laying their base with their DNA loft midsole, which is supposed to be super comfortable, and it's supposed to form to your foot as you gain experience in the shoe. So the longer you're in the shoe, the longer you're running in it, the more it'll form to your foot, and to a certain extent, the more comfortable it will be. And you know what? I was even kind of noticing that after my first run. I enjoyed how like it felt a little firm at the beginning, but there was kind of an enjoyable like sink in, even like on my 8th mile at the end of my first run. And you know, it felt pretty good. It was a nice surprise. It kind of started off a little harder, but ended a little better. And that DNA Loft midsole also combines with a DNA Biomo Go midsole is what Brooks is calling it. That is a mouthful. And it feels pretty good. It's kind of doing the same thing. It works with the Loft midsole to give you that adaptive fit as you run in the shoe. That works really well with the guide rails they have on the side for extra support. I'm actually a pretty neutral runner, and I enjoyed the guide rails because they didn't really get in my way, but if you guys know me, if you guys been for the shoe reviews, y'all know I tend to roll in a little bit by the end of my runs because my form is sloppy. Something I gotta work on, but I'm into it. It's reliable. Big surprise there. They also have Omega Flex grooves to add some more extra flexibility to the shoe, which is awesome. And then they also have a nice segmented crash pad to aid in a ergonomical and efficient heel to toe off. Moving on to the outsole, this one stays pretty simple. We are looking at a blown rubber outsole, which aids in the durability and traction you're gonna get. You know, even just looking at it on the camera right now, you can see it's like super thick. That is really gonna be able to protect the midsole and aid in the durability. And it's pretty light too, you know, it doesn't feel off balance. It feels like a very well-balanced shoe, even though there is a very liberally placed amount of outsole rubber there. So big ups to them. I don't think it gets in the way, and I think it'll aid in the durability prediction, which is coming up very soon. Moving on to my positives and drawbacks. Positives of the shoe, definitely gonna be those guide rails. I loved those guide rails. They didn't get in my way. You guys know I'm a fan of inherent stability, and I enjoyed the fact that they aided my overpronation when it needed to be there, but it didn't get in my way when I didn't want it to be there. My drawback is that the forefoot cushioning, kind of hard. For as great as the heel cushioning is with that DNA Loft midsole, I thought it was kind of lacking in the forefoot. It just felt like I was slapping the ground every time I was taking a step. And if you're into like a more responsive, snappy ride, then I think this shoe kind of offers that, but it also is kind of an identity crisis to me because this shoe is made to be more of a baby your feet daily trainer. So I'm not quite sure what they were going for there. That may just be my taste though. So light me up in the comments if you think I'm wrong. Moving on to the durability prediction, you're probably gonna see a very solid 500 to 600 miles out of this shoe. After my first run, I see very little wear, and to be honest, I don't see it wearing down very much anytime soon. Now that was my official answer, but to be very honest, I know people that are still running in like the 18th edition of this shoe, so if you are going to get this pair, you're probably gonna end up wearing it for a very long time, even though it may be past its prime. So consider it a very good value investment because it's something that you'll probably be able to run in for a very long time, and then when you're done with that, you're gonna be able to walk in it comfortably for an even longer time. Going on to what I think the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21 is best for, I'm gonna say easy runs, daily training runs, long runs, and to be honest, I think the shoe can kind of get down to marathon pace if you're looking for that. Like if you're looking for something that is a daily trainer for most of the runs you do, even down to workouts, like I think you can get away with doing a lot in this shoe, especially if you're in that range as a beginner or a developing athlete. Getting on to the price of this shoe, we are looking at $130. Initial reaction is $130, kind of a lot. But I would say, like I said, for the durability prediction and the value that this shoe comes with, I can't think of the word right now, the reputation. This shoe has a very positive reputation for being reliable and long lasting. So if you pick up this pair for $130, I guarantee you, you will be getting more of your money's worth over the years that you are wearing this shoe. So that about does it for the price. Overall, I think the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21 is a very sensible option for most people, from hobby joggers to like semi-elite professional athletes alike. I know pros that train in this as a daily trainer and they love it just fine. It keeps them coming back every day for more. So I'm loving the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21 and I can't wait to get more miles on it. That about does it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching my first impression review. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to comment down below. And if you're enjoying the content, don't be afraid to like, subscribe, and smash that bell button, baby. And until next time, y'all know the drill. Stay healthy, stay chill. Cheers, friends.